Let me tell you how it will be.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. It's your business to know what's happening out there when it comes to what government wants to do with your money. And of course, a couple of days ago, we had an election, and talking about that with my good friend, Bob Loeser, Taxman Bob, as we affectionately call him here in our studios. And Bob, let's talk. I want to start with that tax bill I alluded to, that proposition that passed overwhelming.
Right.
Everyone likes to curtail their property tax,
Correct.
And I sat there and looked at that, and I asked a friend of mine who's really very politically savvy, a good friend of mine, what his thoughts were. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm going to vote for it. And I said, yeah, but, what if some point, those kind of tax limitations on property tax kind of leads to the temptation to going to the income tax, which is the thing that we've not had here in Texas that has made Texas great. And he goes, oh, no, that would never happen with the current legislature. And I'm like going, you don't pass bills like that because of the current legislature. You pass bills or avoid bills like that because of all legislatures, current and future ones. But and what it reminded me was Howard Jarvis, Proposition 13.
Right.
And now you and I both know that California has one of the worst tax environments of any state of the union.
Right.
It had a modest income tax when Howard Jarvis got that Proposition 13 passed. And now it's got among the worst income tax in particular in the country. Right. And it's because, that's one of the reasons why. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, what's your friend say about the fact that, again, diminishing property taxes, where are they going to make up for it in other pots? Are they going to raise sales tax? Are they going to raise,
which we already have among the highest sales tax in the country.
Consumption tax on vehicles and boats? I mean, where are they going, appliances, where are they going to get the rest of this money? I mean, it just doesn't. It's not like we had a $10 million surplus and say, hey, Bill, bring the truck back up. We're going to take it to the bank. I mean, where's this money coming from?
Exactly. And the thing about it is that I don't like any tax, but at least property tax is very transparent. It's very clear who's being taxed and how. It's one of those things that politicians have enough common sense that they know if they go too far, they'll be essentially shooting into the heart of property buying, which societies need that, cultures need that, constituents, districts need that. And so, unlike the shifty activity that happens with income tax, particularly business income tax, because you and I both know businesses don't pay taxes; they're tax collectors.
Correct. But
and so
even in the last note, as to the property tax and all, shouldn't it be on, I'm going to call it use? I mean, if you're I live out in Sugar Land, okay? We have 2 kids, but they're no longer going to the school system in Fort Bend County and Sugar Land, okay? Shouldn't it be maybe on I'm going to say consumption? If you're there and you're using the facilities, whether it's the schools or whatnot, then you pay one tax. All right, there's an add-on for the 2 kids going to. Once they're out of school, just like an age 65 limitation or exemption, you get an exemption because your kids are no longer benefiting. So it's sort of a supply and demand, but as you use it, you pay for it, and as you don't use it, you don't pay for it.
Yes.
And instead of lowering it across the board and saying, you know what, we're going to do this because we got a good legislature in there. So 2 years from now, you are or aren't. And if you're not, good luck to you and the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So or the Chicago Cubs.
Cubs, that's right. That's right.
So close, but yes, so far. So I was, I didn't vote for that. Probably most of my conservative friends, would have, but to me it seems very myopic and overly optimistic, and there's nothing optimistic about government behavior.
No, not at all.
And so that's how I was curious to see what your spin on.
No. I mean, the personal taxes, as you briefly mentioned, leads right into the debates and the discussions that have been going on the last 2 weeks as to where they come up with additional dollars or where they cut additional dollars, or particularly a lot of it was corporate because they want to keep corporations. Like Pfizer recently bought Allergen and they're moving off to Ireland. Yeah, you're going to lose the jobs, you're going to lose the tax dollars. If you can keep them here and lowering the tax bracket, then I'm with a lot of these plans that the Republicans have come up with in reducing the corporate dollars, doing some manipulations of the personal tax rates so that, the rich pay a little bit more and the middle class pay a little bit less. but they're generating more because more people are at work, more people are opening up their own small businesses, and they're profitable and they're paying taxes on it.
Yeah, and by the way, Ireland has the most attractive income tax environment just about of any country in the world.
Right.
You know, I think there's maybe a few former Eastern European countries that might be a little better, but not many. Ireland's pretty amazing in that respect. And so we continue to lose that game. The United States has the worst tax environment of any industrialized country in the world as far as income tax goes.
But we're paying for so many things through the government. I mean, like, you know, the 3-year study of the mating habits of the tsetse fly. I really shouldn't say this, but I really don't give a about that tsetse fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, particularly when you're paying $3.1 million to watch its mating habits. You know, I could watch paint dry for $500,000 if you paid me.
Yep, no question about it. Talking again to our good friend, we call him Taxman Bob Loeser here on The Price of Business. Talk a little bit about the election. Sylvester Stallone, Sylvester Turner, and Bill King. They were the two up on top. Plethora of candidates, including Chris Bell, who I now put in the perennial candidate category. He keeps trying over and over again. He is in single digits, a lot of 1%ers. Only 4 broke the the double-digit margin.
Chris Bell, like a Timex watch, takes a licking, keeps on ticking.
Keeps on ticking. What do you think ends up happening in a runoff? I tell you right now, the media sure has it postured that the next mayor is going to be Sylvester Turner.
So if I made a statement to you and I just said, "Yo, Adrian," what would that mean? Yes, Mr. Stallone. I almost put same kind of Sylvester's going to certainly take it. You know.
Yes. You think that Turner's going to be the new mayor?
You know, it may have been better that there was 42 candidates running instead of 3 for Sylvester, and not for the other candidates, but because there was so much diversity. You know, the cream ran to the top. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to pick from column A, column B, or column C, they pick from column A.
Yeah, that's true. The bigger names made it to the top. Although Costello spent a lot of money, and he wasn't one of the top 4.
I loved his commercials.
I bet you did.
With that little kid at the end going, "Hey, Costello."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably reminds you of a kid from the neighborhood, didn't it?
That's right.
So yeah. I found it very interesting. I think there was a lot of speculation that that the Hero Amendment was going to potentially hurt a liberal, and I had if it was a black liberal, I didn't think so, because you go back to 2008, while Barack Obama got 70% of the black vote in California, same percentage of blacks voted against same-sex marriage.
Right.
And I tell you, when it comes to marriage, blacks are every bit as conservative as whites are as a group.
Right. No, you're right about that.
And so I think it had no bearing. Final thoughts before I let you go. By the way, it's taxmanbob at pdq.net.
When's the next debate?
I think it's any day now.
It's next week?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Okay. I mean, I'd like the candidates to dwindle down from 15 to 5 or so that the American people have a little bit better choice of throwing darts at them. Yeah. Did I actually say that? I like their hair.
Your phone number, too.
713-953-1272. 713-953-1272. Always a pleasure to see you, Kevin.
You too, my friend. Taxman Bob Loeser, as always, on The Price of Business. More for you after this on The Price of Business.
There's one for you, 19 for me.